Good morning, this is Jim, 5714 Collector, bringing you another video about the 1972 Topps baseball card set. Today we're going to start off with card number 188, and we're going to go through card 200. So we're going to start off with the manager of the Phillies, and that is Frank Lucchesi. Show you the back of the card here in a second. There that is. And Frank was the manager for 23 seasons in the minors, and he had a win-loss record of 1,605 wins, 1,436 losses. He also managed in the major leagues, and his record was 316 and 399. And he had an unfortunate footnote when I was looking up in Baseball Reference, and I do recall the incident. In 1977, while managing the Rangers, he was assaulted by Lenny Randle, one of his players, and Randle was eventually released or traded and suspended and sent over to the New York Mets. That was a very unfortunate incident. When you get time, please go into Baseball Reference, look at the SABR, and take a look at that. There's a full detail account of what happened that day. So just want to point that out, make sure everybody, when you get some time, go in there and check out Baseball Reference. And the next player we have here is 189, is Gene Tenace, here with Oakland. And I love those A's uniforms back in the day. That green is just so cool looking. Almost color matches. Too bad they didn't put green up on the top. Well, they did a little bit of green, didn't they? Yeah, just a shade of green. If they'd done a little bit more green there, that would have been a pretty cool match. But here's the back. And Gene Tenace was, of course, with the World Series champion Oakland A's. Very good catcher, drew a lot of walks. He's also the first major league player to hit 2 home runs in his first World Series at bats. So that happened in Game 1, of course, of the 72 World Series. That was later tied by Andruw Jones of the Atlanta Braves. So that's kind of a cool history footnote. And he won the MVP award in the 72 World Series because he hit 4 home runs total and had 9 RBIs. So he had a great World Series. He drew 100 or more walks in a season 6 times, and he led the league in walks twice. So that's pretty cool. He hit 201 career home runs. So he had a very solid career and a very good ball player, Gene Tenace. So the next card we have is card number 190, is Dave Gusty here with Pittsburgh. Very good relief pitcher for them. I'll show you the back of his card. So he had a nice career himself. And we'll talk about Dave here in a second. He was the first Houston Colt 45 bonus baby. That's pretty interesting. Dave pitched a 1-hitter against the Giants on August 15th, 1966, because he was a starter early in his career and then got converted to the bullpen and became a reliever. So he had 1 save for the Pirates in the 71 World Series when they beat the Orioles 4-3. Also, he led the National League in saves in 1971. So that's pretty awesome. So card number 191 is Jeff Burroughs here with the Rangers. And there's a cool footnote about Jeff Burroughs. I know, of course, most people know he won the MVP in the American League in 1974 when he led the American League in RBIs. He had 118 that year. So very cool. So we'll talk about his footnote. He was the first overall pick in the 69 expansion draft. He hit the first Grand Slam in Texas Rangers history. That's pretty cool stuff. But what's really cool, Jeff was the manager of his son's Little League team. Sean was his son. Of course, his son also played Major League Baseball. But they won the 92 and 93 Little League World Series. And they were the first U.S. team to win back-to-back Little League World Series. And Jeff was the manager of his son's team. So that's pretty cool. That's a neat footnote to take a look at in Baseball Reference if you get a chance. Former Major League player managing his son, and they win back-to-back Little League World Series titles. Pretty awesome stuff. So, cool footnote. Now, card number 192 is the Cubs team. And I always found it odd that the Cubs did their team cards this way. and not a stadium shot. And what would have been cool if you could have had the Cubs in the outfield with the Wrigley Ivy in the background and take a picture. That would have been pretty cool. And I'm sure there's probably cards like that, of course. But a team photo like that would have been cool. I don't know why they never did one like that and why Topps did it this way. If somebody's got an answer why this was done, please put it in the comments. I'd really like to know, because I have no clue. So the Cubs team in 1971, they finished third in the National League East with 83 wins and 79 losses. It was Ernie Banks' last season. So Ernie Banks, of course, played 1953 to 1971 with the Cubs. They never went to the World Series. Ernie had a great career, 512 home runs lifetime. Billy Williams led the team in home runs and RBIs. Ferguson Jenkins won the Cy Young Award. He led the National League in wins, games started, complete games, and innings pitched. So that's pretty awesome. Ferguson Jenkins, who we'll talk about as we get into the series further along, was just one of those great pitchers. Certainly like I said, he won the Cy Young Award. He had 6 years in a row with the Cubs when he won 20 or more games. So fantastic pitcher and all that. So, all right. So card number 193. I hope I say his name right. Kurt Bevacqua. I think I'm saying that correctly. Here with the Indians. And he played for quite a few teams himself. Great utility player. I'll show the back of his card, and we'll talk about Kurt a little bit. He played 15 Major League seasons, so quite a long time. He hit .412 in the '84 World Series with the Padres against the eventual World Series winners, Detroit Tigers. And he had 2 doubles and 2 home runs in the series. So he had a nice series. In 1975, he was the Bazooka Bubblegum Blowing Champion. There's a 76 card of that. I do not have the card. If I did, I would probably show it. But again, that's in the 76 top set. So if you get a chance, you have that card. Show it in a video. It'd be kind of cool to see it. That, or I'll just have to run out on eBay and buy that card, because I think it'd be cool to have it. So kind of neat footnote. And that's what makes this series a lot of fun and all that. I'm enjoying learning about these players myself, a little bit of tidbits. And most of us know about the Hall of Famers and the guys that were close to being Hall of Famers, but it's very interesting to learn about the very good players and all that. So card number 194 is Fred Norman here with San Diego. Of course, he got traded over to the Reds and pitched for the Big Red Machine and pitched in their World Series winning years. Fred Norman did. Had about 6 or 7 really nice seasons with the Reds. So nice card. Just want to show the front of that again. And we'll talk about Fred here. He played 16 seasons in the major leagues. He won 104 games lifetime. He pitched with the Big Red Machine, as I noted, from 1973 to 1979 and won 85 games for them. So pretty good. He had 574 major league official at-bats and never hit a major league home run. So I thought that was kind of interesting, because I scanned down on the pitchers to see if they hit any home runs, and maybe we'll find something interesting and all that, and we can talk about it. So, all right, so we come to our first of 2 Hall of Famers, and that's Orlando Cepeda here with Atlanta. And of course, he's a Hall of Famer. He went in 1999 with Ryan and Brett and Yount and a couple others. Here's the back of his card. The Baby Bull. It's a very cool looking card. I'll show the front again. I know he hit 379 lifetime home runs. He was a unanimous Rookie of the Year for San Francisco and a unanimous MVP with St. Louis in 1967. So one of the few players that unanimously won Rookie of the Year and MVP. He played in and batted 5th for the Giants in San Francisco in their first game in California. So that's pretty cool. He hit his first major league home run in that game. I think he went 1 for 5, because I went back over and looked at that. And if I remember right, he was 1 for 5, and I think the home run came off Don Drysdale, I think. Like I said about the Rookie of the Year, also he led the league in doubles his rookie year. He hit a home run off Nolan Ryan in Game 3 of the 1969 National League Championship Series. So I thought that was a cool little footnote. Thought I would add that to my little index card about Orlando Cepeda. So Kind of neat stuff. All right, card number 196 is Mel Queen here with the Angels. And he started out as a infielder, outfielder, and then converted over to pitching. And I know off the top of my head, in 1967, he went 14-8 with the Reds. His father played Major League Baseball also. So that's pretty cool. So Mel Sr. and Mel Jr. I'll show the back. That's a cool looking card. I love that top of the border. I love the way they do the Angels on these. That's pretty awesome. So Mel Queen Jr., I'll say. He hit his second and last home run off of Bob Gibson on August 1st, 1964. Like I said, he went 14-8 with the 67 Reds. He also pitched his only 2 Major League shutouts that season. And just a quick footnote, his father played 8 years in the majors. So, again, thanks to Baseball Reference, I'm enjoying going in and writing up my index cards. And it's been a fun series. And today we'll finish off with card number 200. So we got 587 cards to go. So, still got a few to go and all that, but it's certainly fun. Here's a cool card of Johnny Briggs here with Milwaukee. Another solid Major League Baseball player. I'll show the back. And that's pretty awesome. So we'll talk about Johnny. He signed with the Phillies on September 12th, 1962 for $8,000. He hit his first Major League home run on June 21st, 1964 against the Mets. This is a pretty cool footnote. He had a 6-for-6 game on August 4th, 1973 while playing for the Brewers. That's pretty cool. And let's see. He doubled and scored a run in his last Major League at bat on September 28th, 1975. So, pretty cool. I think he signed with a team in Japan for 1976 and played over there like a year, maybe 2, something like that. So, that's pretty awesome. And that's Johnny Briggs. Now, this is card number 198. It's the rookie cards of the Dodgers. And, of course, you see Charlie Huff is on here. And Charlie Huff had a really great career, and we'll talk about him last. But here we go with the front, and then the back. So there you go. That's pretty awesome. We'll put that over here, and we'll talk about the other 2 gentlemen first. So the first gentleman on that card is Bob O'Brien. He won his first Major League game in relief against Montreal on June 2nd, 1971. His second win and last Major League win came against Bob Gibson. He pitched a 6-hit shutout, so he won 2 Major League Baseball games. If I remember right, he was 2-2 lifetime. Played 1 year in the majors. Mike Strahler, hopefully saying that right, 6-8 lifetime. He had 2 complete games, and on June 19th, 1972, he gave up a 2-run home run to Roberto Clemente. And at the time, this RBIs put Clemente second on the Pirates list behind Honus Wagner. Of course, that's been surpassed by Willie Stargell, but that's a cool little footnote. So Charlie Huff played 25 years in the majors. He was 216 wins and 216 losses, exactly 500. That is how do I word this? For a pitcher finishing with a 500 record, he had the most wins, most losses. It's 216. He pitched in 858 games. That's a lot. That's pretty cool. And he had 61 saves in his career also. In 1987, at 39 years old, Charlie won 18 games. That's the most he ever won in a season. And he also set a career high with 223 strikeouts. That's pretty impressive. And he started and won the Marlins' first game ever. So, pretty cool. That's Charlie Huff. So he had a solid career. Card number 199, I might say this wrong. I'm going to say Mike Four, because I'm not really sure. Here with the Red Sox. Here's the back of his card. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I hate to butcher people's names, so I apologize if I do. He played 5 years in the majors. He got his first major league hit with the Orioles on September 26, 1968. Kansas City drafted him from the Orioles organization in the expansion draft. And he hit the first home run in Kansas City Royals history of the Blue Moon Odom. So if you ever get a trivia question of that, who hit the first home run in Royals history, this is the guy. I did not know that, so it's a very cool piece of information. And again, we'll show the back of his card because I think that's pretty cool. So the last player for the day he doesn't need any introduction. One of the greatest players, of course, in history. He's a Hall of Famer. One of the greatest leadoff hitters. Probably, second maybe to Ricky. Everybody would say Ricky was number one. We can fight over Lou Brock, who's card number 200, who had a fantastic career with the Cardinals. Probably don't have to say a lot about him, but great base stealer, number 2 on the list. Of course, Ricky broke his season record and career record, but Lou Brock, let's not forget how great he was. Started off with the Cubbies, of course, got traded to the Cardinals in '64. And we'll talk about Lou Brock a little bit. And if I remember right, off the top of my head, he had 149 lifetime home runs and 900 RBIs. So he had a good career. He was scouted by and signed by Negro League legend Buck O'Neil. That's pretty impressive. That's cool. He was the first player to steal 50 or more bases and hit 20 home runs in a season. He led the National League in steals 8 times. First player to bat in a regular season game in Canada. He did that on April 14th, 1968 in Jerry Park in Montreal. Just cool trivia. And one other really cool footnote, let's not forget how great he was in the World Series. He hit .391 in 21 World Series games. That's pretty impressive. I should have looked and seen how many steals he had in the World Series. I did not look. So that's the cards we have for you this morning. And that's, like I said, it's cards 188 to 200. We have 2 Hall of Famers, 2 great Hall of Famers, actually. With that, I hope everybody has a great day. I want to say I got an SGC order, should be arriving this week. So hopefully my next video will be my XGC reveal. I have 11 Nolan Ryan cards in that order, so I can't wait to open that up. I have not looked on the SGC website to see what the grades were. I want to be surprised. So I'll be doing that later this week. Again, obviously it's Sunday. I want to wish Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Weather here in Northern Virginia is really, really good. It'll be a nice day here. But just have a great day. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed the video. And next Sunday, we'll start off with cards number 201 and work our way up. Maybe I'll do 15 or so. So maybe 201 to 215. So anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.